we are the part of Novo Holdings that do early stage investment. We are actually not a separate fund, so we are operating out of the same budget as our colleagues in Novo Ventures, Novo Large Investment and Novo Finance. But what is different between them and us is that we work with the early stage of the ecosystems. We focus exclusively on Europe, and we have a grant program which is quite unique, which is a support funding capability we have to engage with scientists at Nordic universities. We have our roots in the Nordic, and the pre-seed program is for Nordic opportunities, but we invest across Europe. When we invest outside the Nordics, it is always as part of a syndicate. It's always together with some of our friends in the other European venture funds, but we can go in early and invest in early stage opportunities all over Europe. So pre-seed is indeed pretty early. So pre-seed is a grant funding opportunity we have. It is up to about €500,000, and it is to project from academia, so either universities or hospitals, where we see the project having some commercial potential, but it's too early for a seed investment. And the money we provide, typically they support some preclinical proof of concept study, it could be some animal studies, but we are putting a lot of emphasis on that the project teams, they engage with some biotech experts, people with commercial acumen, business development acumen, and develop the plans and do a thorough commercial validation. So that becomes part of the pre-seed project as well. It is connected to the institute, and it is important to say the pre-seed grants are true grants. There's not even an obligation for the teams who receive them to speak with us. Most of the time, obviously, they do. They appreciate the input and work we do with the teams to create and build the opportunities. Maybe I'll start with one we did earlier this year, a company called Antag that was spun out of Copenhagen University. It's based on really solid research by Professor Jens Juul Holst, who is one of the inventors of GLP-1, which is now a class on its own in obesity and diabetes. And he have developed a project around another peptide hormone. We gave a pre-seed grant to the researcher in his lab, Alexander Spara Ulrich, that's worked with the project. We try to put more emphasis by working with him. It's my colleague Emmanuel Coutanceau, and we also put him in contact with people who could help him build a clinical plan and a development plan. And then earlier this year, we did the first investment, 20 million Danish, which is about 2.67 million pounds sterling, to get the company off the ground. At that point in time, when it becomes a company, that's where we negotiate a license agreement with the university. That's where you have a real entity that then build it on a commercial scale. But the foundation is all laid during the pre-seed project. The challenging thing for most seed investors is obviously as the project develops, it requires more capital, and typical seed fund have limited follow-on capabilities. We actually have the capability to follow on. So we actually have the mandate to be able to take the companies all the way to an exit. Of course, there will be a limit to how far we can take it. And I can mention an example like Orphazyme, which is a company it was a spin out of the Danish Cancer Society. We did a pre-seed grant, did the seed investment. At a point in time, they did a larger round. It became our colleagues in Novo Ventures who took over. That's actually the only company that they have taken over. And a few months ago, they actually did an IPO on the Copenhagen Stock Exchange. We had a company in our portfolio where we participated in the Series A that did an IPO in France earlier this year, Lysogen. So, I mean, we can actually go that path as well, and I think the differentiator here is that we can play a role all the way from the very beginning to the end.